Hi, I'm Brett Weiss, and I'm the founder and director of the Bernard and Elsie Weiss Dago Scholarship Fund. In 2009, I made my first trip to Dago, Kenya, and I learned what life was like. No electricity, no plumbing. AIDS has devastated that part of the world. It's very rare to run into a child who has both parents who are still alive. Most people live till about 40. The average person will never see a doctor, and food insecurity is a big problem. They live in tiny little mud huts that are smaller than most of our living rooms. So the challenges there are enormous. The average person only gets about 4 years of school. So when I came back, I realized I needed to do something about that. As an educator, I'm very passionate about the importance of education and how it can really solve most of the world's problems. So in 2011, starting with one student, I created the Bernard and Elsie Weiss Dago Scholarship Fund. Most children in Dago, or very few children in Dago, have ever gone to high school because the government doesn't pay the cost. Most of them quit by about fourth grade. So I started with one child, naming this after my parents, Bernard and Elsie, who grew up very poor themselves in Chicago, but they worked very hard and they made sure that all three of their boys had a great education, and thus we've had great lives. So I started with one student, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go from there, but I knew I had to do something. So with the help of family, friends, students, their parents, and a lot of former students, we started the Scholarship Fund and started raising money. To date, we have awarded 32 full four-year scholarships, and 4 of our students are now attending universities. We choose our students based on an exam that they take at the end of 8th grade. And we have 2 real fundamental rules of the scholarship program. The first one is that when we award a scholarship, it means that we have enough money in the bank for all 4 years, and we've awarded 32 of those. The reason that's crucial is I learned a lot of scholarship funds will work on a year-to-year basis, and quite often children are told after a year or two, sorry, we have no more money, and they can't go to high school anymore. I never wanted to be in that position. The second rule is really crucial. All of our money gets divided equally between boys and girls. In a place like Dago, it is much, much tougher for girls growing up. They're told girls don't need to get an education, stay home and learn how to cook and things like that. Girls tend to miss a lot more school because they're asked to stay home and help. So in the exam that they take in 8th grade, they tend to score a lot lower than the boys. So for a small scholarship fund like mine, if we awarded scholarships really just based on test scores, it'd be very difficult for a girl to ever get a scholarship. And we know that if we give a girl a chance, she'll do just as well as the boys, if not better, but she actually has to have that opportunity. The cost of sending a child from Dago to high school for all 4 years is only $3,200. That's room and board, books, fees, tuition, uniforms, everything. And so it's pretty inexpensive from a US dollar perspective. One of the words I use a lot is hope. And I've learned that this scholarship is not only giving hope to the children of Dago, but to the entire village. We have found that children are staying in primary school longer with the hope that if they work hard, they can also get a scholarship to high school. A few years ago, I decided to write a book about my work, about life in Dago, about the Scholarship Fund. And earlier this year, the book that I wrote was published. It's called Just Give Them a Hug and the Rest Will Be Easy. And I'm excited to share my story with others. In my book, I take the reader through stories of what it's like to live in the village of Dago and all the challenges that they face every day. A story that I love to share and that is in the book is what I call the pen story. My very first day in Dago, I'm sitting in the back of an 8th grade classroom. I see a child whose pen had run out of ink, and there's tears coming down his face. So I just simply walked up and I gave him a pen, and he said thank you, and he wrote the rest of the period. At the end of the class, he wanted to give me the pen back, and I said, no, that's okay, you can keep the pen. The teacher was standing there, so I asked the teacher why he was crying because the pen ran out of ink. And the teacher said to me, he was worried that he might never be able to get another pen, and if he couldn't get another pen, he couldn't continue going to high school. That was an incredible eye-opener to learn that the lack of a pen could cause a child to drop out of high school. I really began to learn that life was going to be very different in a place like Dago. In my book, I take the reader through my journey in Dago, and I really want to be a voice for the people of Dago. I ask you to come with me on my journey to Kenya because not only will you learn and read about the challenges and struggles that the people in Dago face every day, but since 50% of the royalties go directly to the scholarship fund, you'll be helping to send more children to high school. You can purchase the book at iuniverse.com, amazon.com, and many other websites. You will be giving the children and everybody in the village of Dago real hope that the future can be better. So please work with us as we try to make the world a better place, one child at a time.